A third vaccination in Great Britain is supposed to protect against mutations of the coronavirus. One is prepared, said the responsible state secretary. There also seems to be a solution in the dispute with the EU over vaccine exports. People in the UK are to receive a third vaccination to protect against new variants of the coronavirus. Over 70-year-olds could get this booster vaccination as early as September, said State Secretary Nadim Zahawi to the Daily Telegraph newspaper. Medical staff and nurses should then also receive their third dose within 10 months. By autumn, 8 different vaccines would probably be available for this, said Zahawi. Whatever the behavior of the virus, we will be ready, he said. The State Secretary announced that drive-through vaccination centers will soon open. They could then be vaccinated in the car, for example. This should reduce the vaccination skepticism of younger people as soon as it is their turn, said Zahawi. The UK government has announced that all adults should receive a first dose of the coronavirus by the end of July. However, they have not made any specific announcements about the time after that. So far, around 30 million people have had their first dose, and more than half of the adults. About 5% also received a second vaccination. However, because of the spread of more contagious variants, the pressure on the government not to jeopardize the success of vaccination so far is growing. The Guardian newspaper reported that the cabinet had discussed an expansion of the red list of high-risk countries. It is feared that virus variants from abroad could weaken the British vaccination program, which has so far been successful. Anyone entering from these areas must be in hotel quarantine for 10 days at their own expense. Meanwhile, the UK is apparently on the verge of signing a vaccine deal with the European Union. As the English daily newspaper The Times reported, the agreement could eliminate the risk of a delivery stop by the EU. As part of the agreement, the EU wants to lift its threat to ban the export of BioNTech Pfizer vaccines to the UK. In return, the British government is ready to forego some long-term orders for the AstraZeneca vaccine, which should be exported from Holland. In the past few days, there had been a dispute between the British government and the EU. The latter had tightened its export controls on coronavirus vaccines in order to block deliveries to countries that have high vaccination rates or do not dispense vaccine doses produced there. The UK in particular had come into focus. According to the EU, around 11 million vaccine doses have so far been exported to the UK. Conversely, the EU is still waiting for deliveries from the British side. And the discussion is a tough one, and I hope that this will be over and that it do find a solution, because it's important for all of us. And the UK was recently seen as an example how fast vaccination can take place. But now there are no doses for the second vaccination. A dispute with the EU has also broken out, as I said, and Boris Johnson has big problems. That's probably why he now wants to find a solution with the EU, because otherwise he's in trouble too. 43% of the UK population have received at least the first dose of vaccine. I said that earlier, and also Bloomberg reported that now too. A value that is enviable from the German point of view. But now there are several problems opening up for the country, which seem to be a role model when it comes to vaccination. Yes, it's true that in the kingdom almost half of the population received the first dose. But it is also part of the truth that millions of people have to wait for the second vaccination. One of the reasons for this is that AstraZeneca does not deliver the promised 2 million cans per week. Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced at a press conference a few days ago that citizens did not need to worry about their vaccinations. It has always been said that some interruptions are inevitable in a vaccination program of this speed and scope. There are fewer vaccinations than planned, and due to delay in deliveries from the Serum Institute and further testing of a load, there will be fewer vaccine doses in April. The second vaccination will continue to be given after 12 weeks. An EU official now contradicts Johnson according to Bloomberg and rumbles that the British were overzealous. They would have given the first dose of the vaccination without backing up the second. Boris Johnson's government now urgently needs EU help. But that's where the next problem awaits. Blackmail. This is how Jean-Yves Le Drian, France's foreign minister, called the behavior of British colleagues. Before that, EU Commission head Ursula von der Leyen had chosen clear words in the direction of AstraZeneca at a summit. The manufacturer must first deliver the missing vaccine doses to the EU before more are delivered elsewhere. 30 million doses are to be delivered by the end of March, less than a third of the agreed amount. Johnson had described such a blockade as not useful. He had warned that this could also block vaccinations that are produced for BioNTech Pfizer in Belgium, according to the BBC. Individual components are produced in England, components for the AstraZeneca vaccine that are needed in the Netherlands and Belgium. Boris Johnson turned to India in the face of the conflict with the EU. Last week, he sent his confidant, Lord Eddie Lister, to New Delhi. The visit was supposed to guarantee new vaccine deliveries, but it was unsuccessful. In April, the Prime Minister himself will travel to India. We'll see how successful he will be then. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. Auf Wiedersehen.